VA meeting. So if we could all stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so the first thing we'd like to do is open the meeting. Could we have a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor? And then we'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes from our September 20th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Everyone in favor? Great. And now we're going to move to some correspondence requiring action that needs to be addressed. Your signature. Got it.
Just need to make a motion for, to give lead agency
To the,
planning board for the application.
so this is for the application for the location at 31 Long Island Avenue. That we'd like to hear a motion for the planning board to assume lead agency status on this application.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sign this. Great, thank you. And now we will move on to old business. 55 Howard.
That's adjourned. We have to make a motion to adjourn it.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn 55 Howard, so that will be till November, what's that date?
18.
November 22nd? No, sorry.
18.
No, the 15th.
15.
15, okay. We will adjourn 55 Howard, we have a motion to adjourn 55 Howard to November 15th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. We'd like to have a motion to adjourn 26 Walker to November 15th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And now we will open new business.
Now Hillside Drive. Updated,
Okay, for 45 Hillside Drive. We have a motion to adjourn that.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. And now we will move to new business and start with 11 Henry Street.
a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing.
We didn't. I
Yes.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now you're gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, got it, public hearing. Sorry. And now if we could have a motion to adjourn 11 Henry to November 15th.
So
Second,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And now we will move down to 48 Union.
Anthony from 68th Street.
So we need to swear you. Right? Yeah. So do you, keeping it, look at this. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, Anthony.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so this house is located on 48 Union Street, next door to the Weber Church. It is currently, just to give you the background, it is currently a legal two-family house. It is currently being used as such, and the owner's intention is to continue to use it as a legal two-family house.
So you're saying it is illegal to them?
It is legal, yes. Yeah, it's grandfathered. So the owner intends to keep it as such, but we do want to make some changes to the plans to make it work better as a two-family house. If you look at the current first floor plan, it's a bit of a rabbit warren, especially in the back, where what is currently being used as the rental apartment is kind of walk through one bedroom to get to the other bedroom. There's sort of some funny dead spaces here and there. The front part of the house, which the homeowner is currently using as his own spot, is really kind of with some really small living rooms on the first floor, and then finished kind of studio area in the back, and then his two bedrooms on the second floor. So the idea here is to basically kind of flip-flop the setup so that the rental unit goes in the front and the homeowner goes in the back, so he can enjoy his backyard. So what we're doing, the main thing that we're doing, which is triggering the ZBA application, is adding a second floor addition to the rear of the existing second floor. Now, and what's kind of unusual about this, I suppose, is that the bulk of the actual habitable part of the addition is within the sky plane. But if you look at the current rear elevation, there's this existing kind of peaked roof, which is coming off from the property line here on the west side of the property. So our proposal here is to basically extend that roof upward to become the shape of the second floor addition, and a shed dormer along the other side, the east side. The bulk of the shed dormer, which is where all the habitable space is actually conforming. Just a little kind of sliver of the eave is non-conforming. But sort of the bulk of what's sort of getting us up to that 1,300 square feet of cubic relief is this segment right here, which you can see colored in your thing, which is just basically the extension of the existing roof up to a ridge line and then coming back down on the other side and more or less conforming. There are a couple of other things on the that are technically, I think, part of the variance application. One is the setback relief, which sounds dramatic, but it's really not. It's only because the roof itself is the extension of the roof itself is within that 10-foot setback to the house, so close to the property line on the west. I don't know if I mentioned this. Yeah, it's right on, like within a few inches. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but we're not changing the footprint of the house itself at all. So it's just solely just a second floor addition. But because that addition is is closer than 10 feet from the property line, that triggers that setback variance. And then I think there was just a question about the increase in the, being a non-conforming use in an R20. We are underneath the 50% expansion. That number's written down here. So the existing first floor is 1,465 square feet of living space. It'll stay the same. The current second floor is 500 square feet of living space, and we're adding 550 to that. So, a total of about 2,000 square feet, we're adding about 500 square feet. We're still under the GFA for the property. That is basically it.
Did you say what the percentage was, Anthony?
It would be, let's see, 25% about.
So that's what the increase is in terms of the 50%.
Yeah, in terms of the GFA, it's increasing by about 25%.
But in terms of the law, the two-family house law, that's the same thing, correct? You're under the 50%.
Yes.
So it's still, that's the same number, right? The 25%. They're all calculated the same way.
Yes, the expansion cannot exceed 50% of the gross floor area of the building or structure devoted to the non-conforming use on the effective date of the use having first become non-conforming.
So we're only adding 25%.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. So,
Give you an
so
exact-
there isn't really, so that's listed here, but it's not really a variance then.
It is, it's part, you have to grant that relief.
Even though it's under the 50%.
50%
Okay.
is still granted.
Okay.
Oh, got it. That's what I didn't
Got it.
understand.
To
Okay.
make sure the parking is complied with and there's no change in the nature or character of the use. Or the character of the building or structure, and the lot coverage and density shall not be greater than what would be permitted by the open space lot coverage or density provisions of the district.
Okay, so you mentioned parking, so we have 7 bedrooms, so that's 1, 2, 3, every 3, 2, 4. So we should have 6 parking places, is that right?
So we do have a driveway that
Have a
runs up.
long driveway.
Yeah, long driveway that runs up the side of the property.
So we're just assuming that it'll just go as long as it needs to go to handle 6 cars. Do we need that,
Did it show that?
do we need that indicated on here?
Sure.
I can get that indicated, sure. Yeah.
Can you also show the setback to make sure we're granting the right relief for the second story?
On the
I
survey?
think we had to scale that.
Yeah, I did give the numbers to Chris when he
Can
was
you put
doing
it
it.
on your plans then?
Yeah, I can
Or something?
put it on have the surveyor put it on as
Okay,
well.
thank you.
So we need 6 spaces shown, the setback shown, is there anything else?
And the fact that it was already a non-conforming use in R20, is that on the certificate of occupancy?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay,
One thing, I believe it actually, what we're proposing here would actually conform, if this was a single family house and we were doing an accessory apartment under the new code, I believe it would actually conform to that new code, but it's kind of a moot point in this case, because we've already got the grandfathered use.
and will the new septic system look like?
Yes. We'll have to install a new septic system for sure. I mean, that's, I think, pretty much for any construction.
Right, I just want to make
nowadays.
sure, I didn't know if I saw that on
Yeah.
the survey. Is that on survey?
We haven't applied for the septic application yet. We actually, I think we were kind of waiting to get the ZBA first before doing that.
To do what?
The septic health department application. Because we
Right.
technically need the ZBA approval before we can go to health department.
Understood, so then you'll just make sure, yeah, 6 parking spaces and
And the septic.
the
system,
space for
yeah.
septic.
We're not proposing a swimming pool. We don't have the lot coverage for it, so there should be plenty of room for the septic.
In the back. Okay. All right, so those are the questions that I had. Any questions?
The sky pool variance is a bit high. I know, I understand the problems.
And once again, it's really being driven by this existing roof line that we kind of have to, ironically, I think that little barn shape there off the back, might actually be the oldest part of the house, so we'd want to preserve that,
Has the ARB seen any of this?
yeah.
Do you think that
Maybe.
there's, well, do you think they're gonna have a problem? I wonder if they're gonna have a problem because that's the oldest part of the house and you're adding on top of it. They don't necessarily like adding on top of things.
No, they like to be equal to or behind.
Hmm.
And from the front,
From the front, you really don't see anything at all. I mean, you would see a little bit of the dormer if you were looking at it straight on, if you were standing in the church parking lot.
I was gonna say, you
But-
probably can see it from there.
Yeah, but the ridge height is gonna be lower than the front ridge height, which is what the ARB likes to see, so.
Of course.
Hmm.
1300. What's the height of the second floor?
Sure, so the height to the eave line here from existing grade to eave line is 19 feet and then another 18 inches or so to the ridge. So we're looking at about 20 feet, 6 inches.
Is there a possibility though of lowering the height where that dormer is so that we could lower, bring that whole thing down a bit so that ridge comes down to cut out some of that
Well,
square footage?
the thing is that the dormer itself is not, very little of the dormer is actually technically non-conforming. It's really just this little
Right. I
sliver here,
understand.
so that, that's about, 50 cubic feet total. So lowering the dormer isn't gonna really do
No,
anything.
I'm wondering about lowering that ridge right there, the middle, the main ridge, if you could bring that line down.
I mean, we could,
That's what I mean, if you went more like that, because then you'd be cutting out a length of that
yeah,
blank space going backwards. I don't know if there's any leeway in reducing that. That's the only thing I can think of, because you can't really reduce it on the left because of the roof line. And the dormer that's on the part of, let's say, the church side
Yep.
is not very big, and that houses,
that's just for a little.
it's for a bathroom, and you can't reduce that because it's a little bathroom already.
Yeah,
So,
it always contributing about maybe 200.
Right.
Close to the violation.
So I don't know if you did that with that.
How much I would say?
How, yeah, would we save a significant amount, or would we? Well, the dormer, let's see. Would just be on the other side.
And the other thing that we could look at doing is compressing the dormer a little bit too, because, well, no, that's not gonna help, is it? Because that's not gonna change.
Then
the,
it'd change that. Now, the only thing would be if that line
Yeah,
could be
we
broken
just
down.
have to need to figure out some way to get that ridge line down, which is, trust me, harder than it sounds.
I don't know, what does everyone else think?
I guess I'd like to see what the option would look like for what you could come back with.
I mean, I think that it's obviously a difficult problem because the house is right on the property line, so that, obviously
narrow.
it's narrow and you're obviously gonna need a variance. Yeah. I don't know.
I have no objections to it. It's non-conforming, and I think you've done as best you can in order to get what you accomplish.
How much do you think we could save?
I mean, we're looking at, I would say at most, maybe 100, 200 cubic feet.
I'm just wondering if we could get under 1,000. You're at 13.
I think it's gonna be, frankly, gonna be tough to get under 1,000 with this. I mean, I can do things that I know the ARB wouldn't like change the roof pitch and.
Yeah, no.
They,
Yeah, but we don't want to do anything
Yeah.
like that. No, I mean, if there's because it basically looks very nice and it, fits in with what's already there, which is, it's not
Groups.
Let's see here. So, I don't know, it's, if we,
It's not changing the character of the neighborhood.
no,
And the front, you won't see it. You're just gonna see it from the side parking lot.
it mostly impacts, the other thing that I guess we could use to distinguish this is the church is on that side, and it's, I don't know, what are,
It's a zero lot line basically, so
yes,
it's easy to distinguish from other parcels.
right, plus it's not a residence on the other side, it's a parking lot,
Exactly.
so, I think,
I guess maybe this.
yes, so we can distinguish it from other,
You know, and I think there are actually also a few other legal two-family houses on Union Street. I think some of the few remaining ones are, you know, I mean, I live on Union Street myself, so. You know, and my house was actually a legal two-family at one point in time.
so I think the rest of
I
it
think
is
we.
fine.
Okay. Then we can, Is anyone here from the public to talk about pretty? Great. So then,
Can you hear me and address in the record, just so we know, and state that you have no objection to it? Thank you. Sorry,
So for
it
the,
would be helpful to the record if you just.
so for the final, I owe you the clarification on the parking spots and the distances, the second floor distances on the survey.
Right, to the dormers, yeah.
what you said, you're gonna tell us the exact percentage.
And the exact percentage, yeah, I can do that. One question, quick question. If I can't get the survey done, surveys are taking forever these days. If I can't get the survey done in time for the next meeting, can I do my own site plan, using the survey as an underlayment for the parking and the distance?
That's up to Liz.
Yeah, I think for the parking and the distance of the second story, that's fine.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
perfect.
As long as that in the end, the survey complies, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to get a final survey at the end.
No, I mean, we'll have to have
What you're submitting.
we'll have to have a survey submitted with a decision though, won't we?
Yeah, I referenced the survey and the decision.
So we
But
do
the
need,
second story setback isn't shown on the survey, at all, it's just a footprint.
well, they usually dot it in though.
Okay, well, it's not on there at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not on here all this way. Usually they dot the second story stuff in.
Then we should wait for the survey, because I have to reference it.
Okay, all right, so I'm trying to get that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, all right, so once you get all that, we should have it then.
No, we can do it. We can
start.
do it now
Yeah, you can
and just,
you can close the public hearing, subject to written submissions for the corrected survey,
Perfect.
and you can direct me to write a decision. It's fine.
Okay, so I can have a motion that we, first of all, let's have a motion to close the public hearing.
second,
All in favor?
uh,
And then we'll have a motion upon the submission of showing us the parking, septic, the second floor setback, and the number of the percentage increase. Okay,
Sounds good.
and so we'll wait for that, and but right now as a board, we will vote to ask Liz to, once she receives that, to write the decision. So we're in favor?
Second,
All in favor?
Great.
Great.
great, thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thanks for coming. Okay, so now we can close the business and move on to decisions.
So just for Division Street, this is
Hold on, Liz, I'm having trouble hearing you.
you are.
Yes,
Can you hear me now, Barbara?
yeah, thank you, sorry.
Okay, so the first application, decision is Alistair Walker, 152 Division Street. This is an application to construct an addition to a renovation to existing residence. And the board considered the following variances. First, to allow the proposed building coverage to be 22.9%, where 20% is permitted. Therefore, relief in the amount of 2.9% is required. The proposed lot coverage to be 34.5%, where 25% is permitted. Therefore, relief in the amount of 9.5% is required. And to allow the proposed addition to intrude into the sky plane by 826 cubic feet, where 0 feet is permitted. Therefore, relief is required for same. This application originally requested a significant gross floor area variance from this board. It was proposing the gross floor area of the structure to be 4,120 square feet, where 2871 is permitted. Therefore, a variance was sought for 1,249 square feet. However, after working with this board and hearing input from this board, the applicant ultimately amended its plans and withdrew the request for the gross floor area variance and reduced the original cubic feet requested for the pyramid variance from 2339 cubic feet for a total down to 826 cubic feet. Therefore, for the reasons set forth in the written determination, the board determines that the variances should be granted. So we need to vote.
We could have a vote to approve this decision that Liz just said.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So 152 division approved.
Okay, the next one is 287 Main Street, Robert Gibbs. This was an application to construct a rear addition to an existing residence requiring pyramid relief for the portion of the house that intruded into the sky plane. The pyramid relief required was 893 cubic feet of relief, where 0 is permitted. Therefore, the variance was required for same. The board applied a 5-part test and determined that it was determined to grant the variances. Originally, the request was for a larger pyramid variance, approximately 1,600 cubic feet of relief, but after hearing feedback from this board, the applicant significantly reduced the proposed addition, eliminating the need for the original gross floor area variance, parking variance, and reducing the pyramid variance sought down to 893 cubic feet. And lot coverage, which was already pre-existing non-conforming, was at 35.7%, where 25% is permitted, and was proposed to be reduced to 34.6%, where 25% is permitted. And for the reasons set forth in the written determination, the board determined to grant the variances.
We have a motion to approve 287 Main. So
A second.
all in favor? Approved.
The next variance was for 207 Madison Street. This was an application to construct another 2-story addition to an existing residence requiring a pyramid variance for the portion of the house that intruded into the sky plane. And then the original request for the pyramid relief was 1,814 cubic feet of relief. And after hearing feedback from this board through the public hearing process, the applicant significantly reduced the proposed addition, reducing the pyramid relief sought to 1,000 cubic feet of relief. The board applied the 5-part test and for the reasons set forth in the written determination, decided to grant the variances.
We have a motion to approve the decision.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Thank you, Liz.
The final one is for 68 Rysam Street. This is Rysam Sag Harbor LLC is the owner. The purpose of the application was to construct a 900 square foot 2-story addition to the existing residence, an extension of an existing covered porch, construction of a new rear deck with pergola. Only the addition required variances from the board. The following variances were granted: to propose lot coverage to be 29.9%, where 25% is permitted, therefore relief in the amount of 4.9% is required. Proposed front yard setback for the residence to be 14.7 feet, where 20 feet is required, therefore 5.3 feet of relief is necessary. And to allow the addition to intrude into the sky plane by a total of 670 cubic feet, where 420 cubic feet was pre-existing. Therefore, relief in the amount of 250 cubic feet was required. Subject property was 12,457 square feet, 77 feet wide. It has 2 front yards on Rysam Street and Love Lane. Therefore, it triggered the required relief. The board applied the 5-part test and for the reasons set forth in the written determination, granted the variances requested.
Great. If I can have a motion for this final approval, Liz just outlined.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So. Thank you, Liz. And now we have a motion to close the meeting.
I saw it.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Have a great
Yes.
night, everyone.
Thank you.
thank you.
That was very.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night. It wasn't as clear as it usually is. Like sometimes when the board members speak and other people speak at the same time, it sort of gets a little warbly, but it was okay. Okay, no problem.
Great, everyone.